Morning, everybody, and welcome to the News Hub. I'm Simon Constable. We have some breaking news overnight. The US and 5 Middle East allies launched a widespread attack on extremist fighters in Syria. We'll have the details and an in-depth analysis right here, right now. First, let's go to our Pentagon correspondent, Julian, who is in Washington and who's been covering this as it happened. Thank you very much for being there, Julian.
Thanks, Simon.
So take us through what we know now. I realize this is warfare, so often what the information we do get is somewhat patchy.
That's right. We're going to learn more as this day goes on. But what we do know now is that last night the United States launched an attack on both Islamic State and Khorasan group, that's another name for the al-Qaeda group in Syria, launched airstrikes in Syria against those targets. They fired Tomahawk missiles, scrambled bombers, launched fighter planes, and there were Arab nations that flew alongside the United States, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, UAE, others, also dropping bombs on targets.
Now, what I understand is that the exact number of allies and who they were was in some flux last night before this attack was launched. That makes it sound like it was a little bit of a cobbled together affair. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, I was talking to officials last night, and they were saying, you know, it was up to the last minute negotiations on what allies were going to drop bombs and what were going to provide other kinds of air support. But this was a big diplomatic push over the last week by the Obama administration. They thought it critical to have fairly robust Arab support, public support from these countries hitting targets in Syria, and they appear to have gotten that. There are several countries that have dropped ordnance in Syria.
Now, does the Obama administration and the Pentagon expect more Arab allies to join in as this warfare continues? Because clearly this isn't going to be the last bombing raid. There will presumably be others in the weeks and months to come.
That's a good point, Simon. We're going to have to see whether this Arab support for strikes was opening day only or whether this will be a longer-term participation. The United Arab Emirates, for example, definitely has the capacity for a sustained air campaign. They have the munitions, they have the fighter planes, they have the pilots with the experience. But whether the UAE or other countries are willing to keep striking targets, we'll have to see. It was critical for the Obama administration that they were there on day one. So that's what the focus has been.
But it is still true, isn't it, Julian, that the U.S. capabilities in aerial warfare just so outweigh everybody else's, particularly in the Middle East. It just basically, there's the U.S., a great leader, and then everybody else is a far, far second.
I mean, we saw that with the aircraft the United States deployed last night and the other weapons. They launched Tomahawk missiles. They flew B-1 bombers. They even flew for the first time the F-22, the advanced stealthy fighter plane. Nobody has anything like that aircraft. So, yes, the United States air capabilities are far and away superior than any other nation in the region.
Wow, that's great stuff. Thank you very much. We know you've been up all night and you look remarkably good for a guy with no sleep. Thank you very much, Julian Barnes of the Wall Street Journal.
Thanks, Simon.